All right, welcome. Good night. That's the conversation. In the midst today, you have Minister Amon, Brother Matthew, Minister Hayden, and our special guest tonight is Talsia Jenkins. Is that Miss or Mrs.? Miss Talsia Jenkins.
You also sing?
No.
Oh, God. Okay.
All right, Prophet, calm down.
No, it's just her name. It's
Talsia.
It just sounds like somebody who's like supposed to be singing. But
Hollywood.
all right.
Talsia. But technically it is, because, I mean, she's doing her thing, you know what I mean? She has a website, you know, which is what, Matthew? Kingdom what?
Hey,
Oh
kill them
my
cultures, my guy.
Wow!
Get that right. Come on.
He did some
Come
research.
on.
Donovan, he did some research.
Don't,
Wow, I'm proud of you this week, bro.
Hey,
I'm not even
come
going to
on.
lie to you. I'm so proud of
Come
you,
on.
bro.
I do my
It's
part.
actually Kingdom Culture.
That's what I was about to say. Kingdom Culture
Kingdom
Couture.
culture.
But guess what? I was still like partially
You were
right.
close. You were close.
So it's like that counts.
He's trying to say he had like halfway,
He
so
did
he's going to
partial
go.
research.
Nah, it's not. It's three parts to the name, so I got 2/3. So it's like,
Wow, did he
come
get
on.
good at it?
I did.
Okay. Okay.
All right, we give you the benefit.
All right, we give you the benefit of the doubt, so no worries.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
and also don't
possible.
forget to hop over to our YouTube channel, which is Just a Conversation. Don't forget to subscribe. Also Instagram, just_a conversation. And also, I made a big step this week. I went on Patreon.com and I put us on there. So also you go to patreon.com/justaconversation and you could also, you know, donate to the cause, you know, do your thing, you know, and this podcast tonight is brought to you by none other than my brother and friend, which is none other than Rick's Tech. You can reach him at 954-534-1292. That's 954-534-1292. Also, if you're in Jamaica, you can reach him at 876-449-1102. That's Rick's Tech. He does website, you know, he says engineer your future. You know, also he says like, you know, get on, you know, make your brand shine. You know, and that's what he does for you. And also he's working on our website, you know, as we speak. Also coming up soon, you know, everything that you see us wear on this program, you know, shirts, you know, is going to be also available on our website, which is going to be justaconversation.com.
That's a good look.
And in the midst tonight, we have none other than Miss Talsia Jenkins. Man, I read your story. And I wish my wife was here because, you know, it's actually like, it hit home.
Yeah.
It was the same thing that she went through, you know, and, you know, to see when somebody overcomes something, it's like, wow.
Definitely.
You know, like, come on now, like, what's going to stop you?
It's a big deal.
No, what stops
Yeah.
you? Does anything can stop you right now?
Nothing.
You don't feel defeated. Why? You know, because you have the victory.
Yeah.
You know, and that's awesome. You know, and that's something I look at. You know, I look at my wife all the time, and like, even though sometimes, you know, the enemy try to like bring up little like what do you call it, like
Humps.
Reminders.
not humps or minors, but like feelings.
Yeah.
Like what she felt years back, you know, when that was coming up on her.
Yeah.
And then she just overcome it like, not today, enemy.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, when I reached out to Miss Talsia, you know, I was like, wow, like, you know, I sent her the topic and I was like, listen, war paint.
Yeah.
You know, like let your past, you know, push you. Let your past not define you, but let it make you a better person. You know, and I was looking at it like, wow, you know, when you overcome something like that, it's just like, wow. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. She'll tell you what it is. It struck home, it hit home, you know, it's something that I personally went through. You know, after we had our last daughter, it was like, you know, my wife went to the, what do you call it, doctor?
The OBGYN.
No, it wasn't OBGYN. It's the other one. But it's
doctor.
not the ear, nose, and throat neither. But it's the other one. But she went there and he told her.
Gynecologist?
The oncologist?
Oncologist.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went to the oncologist and he's
Called
like,
baby
listen.
doctor, right?
Nah.
No, that's not baby doctor. So she went to the oncologist and the oncologist like, listen, like,
I got too many names.
yeah, if you want to have more kids, it's not gonna happen. But guess what? She had my daughter after that, so it doesn't matter what you say, doctor.
there's a
It's-
lot.
End of the day is what Jesus said. Because I remember when the apostle first prophesied to us, he said, listen, you're gonna have a daughter. And I thought my daughter was gonna come before my son.
Yeah.
But then Caleb came first.
Yeah.
And then when Caleb came first, you know, my daughter came afterward. But after Caleb was born, my wife went through the treatment and everything. And then my daughter was born. So it goes to show you that, listen, whatever God says is going to happen, it's going to happen.
Definitely.
And there's nothing that you can do to stop it. And, you know, it's something that I saw this week, and I sent it out to the group. You know, this guy was selling, you know, tickets to heaven, and I was like, you can't buy no ticket to heaven. You have to have a relationship, you know, with pretty much, you know, Jesus himself, with God, you know, and the Bible says you cannot enter true heaven through what? Through Jesus. So you have to go through Jesus to get to heaven.
Yep.
And that's something that I believe in. That's something that I stick with, you know, and this guy was just selling like, you know, how much was the tickets, Donovan?
$500.
$500. $500 to get to
What
heaven.
kind of heaven would that have been for $500 entry fee?
Man, it costs more to go to Dubai.
For real, right?
And he's selling a ticket to go to heaven for $500. And I was like, wow, like, that don't make no sense to me. Like, you know, the Bible tells me, like, you know, you can only enter the heaven through Jesus. You know, so you have to be saved. You have to be, you know, born again. You have to be baptized, you know, and, you know, be born again. And, you know, then, you know, you enter into the kingdom of heaven.
I mean, but
And-
what's the logic in that? Like, you could buy a $500 ticket to heaven, and then
Is it going to get you to heaven?
and then do whatever you want to do after that because you got the ticket in hand.
I
Right?
remember.
That's crazy.
I remember in Y2K. You know, they had when Y2K was coming around, people was actually paying to get baptized
Yeah.
because they were like, "Oh, Y2K is coming. You know, it's the end of the earth,"
End of the world.
and they were getting nervous. And I was like, "Whoa, like, nah, like it ain't like that." You know what I mean? And people was actually paying. But it goes to show you that whether what we're doing, you know, some people might not believe. A lot of people do believe.
Of course. Definitely.
Because if you're gonna pay to get baptized, it tells me
course.
that you believe.
Yeah.
If you're gonna buy a way to get into heaven, you believe
Of course.
that there is a heaven.
Definitely.
You know, and it's free.
Right.
The thing about it, Jesus says salvation is free. All we have to do is what? Harden our heart, open up our heart, enter in Him.
Yeah.
And you know, the thing I was reading about a lot this week, you know, and it struck home like really a lot this week because Jesus said, "Listen, you could come to me just by a word.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay nothing. It don't cost you nothing. Like to me, the only thing that it costs you is just to renew your mind
That's it.
because you're saying like, okay, I'm used to this. I'm stuck in this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm used to this kind of thinking. I'm gonna always think like this. You know, the past don't define you. You know, a lot of people go through their past and guess what? They rise above it. You know, when I think about Peter walking on the water,
Yeah.
to me, like people look at Peter like walking on the water, like, oh, Peter walking on water. No, Peter walked on water because he's walking on stuff that a lot of people sink with.
Exactly.
You know, the stuff that you're sinking with, Peter walked above it.
That's it.
And he's saying, listen, you can walk above that. You can walk on that. There's nothing that can stop you.
Yep.
Because once you're in Christ, guess what? You're a new creature. You're born again. You're new. Then the whole thing, he said, old things are passed away, because behold, all things become new. So when we understand that and believe that and understand that, listen, Jesus got us. You know, He got our backs. He got us 100%. You know, and somebody, you know, I was talking to somebody working there, and they're like, man, Hayden, you know, man, I just seen a change in you and how you did this and how you did that. I'm like, listen, man, the fact is that a lot of people are saying, like, they're waiting on Jesus, but nah, God is actually waiting on you.
That's it.
When you have a made-up mind and you commit and say, listen, I'm going to do this, He's like, come on, I got you.
Yeah.
He puts you in the palm of His hand. He said, listen, you're my friend. You're my all in all. I want you. Come on. You know, I called you. And there's so much that He wants us to do. But He said, listen, come. And when we understand and we say, listen, I'm going to make up my mind, I'm going to come, then you understand the difference and you understand what it is.
Trust.
You know, and I'm not going to pay $500 to go to heaven. You know, I am going to sow a seed, you know, as always, like I do into the ministry, into my ministry. You know, whatever ministry you belong to, if you feel led to sow a seed, sow your seed. You know, because when you read the stuff in the Bible, you know, you have to sow a seed. You have to put something in the ground. You know, you have to plant something. I always hear Minister Gila always say, what she always say? You know, there was a lady that was, she wanted to get pregnant. So what she did, sow into a lady that was pregnant. And guess what?
Of course.
She got pregnant.
Pretty
So
much.
you sow into what you believe in.
Yeah.
And guess what? You know, you want healing? Sow into a healing. And guess what? God will heal you. You know, but you have to give that sacrifice. You have to give up something. You know,
Yeah.
I remember David, man, with the threshing floor. He said, listen, I can't pay for something that costs me nothing.
Yep.
This costs me nothing. You know, until we understand, like, this costs us nothing, you know, then we understand, like, listen, man, like Jesus is just like, man, Jesus is just an awesome person. He's an awesome God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love Him, you know, and I respected the day that He pulled me in and
That's
said,
it.
come on, you are my friend.
That's it.
You're the one I wanted. I want you for just a time as this. And I never hardened my heart. I think a lot of men, and tell me, You know, we get that pride thing where it's like, I'm not gonna submit, I'm not gonna give in. You know, and then I mean, Donovan, your story was actually different. Well, mine was like, you know, I mean, I got saved and I came into the church and I was like doing all this stuff, but it was like, you know, you had one foot in, one foot out. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I've been through this before. But until you give up your all and give everything to Christ, then you
Yeah.
see the difference.
Yeah, that's true.
Then you see the difference. I know you came in on a different scenario, a different story, but to me it was just like, you know, I came in and it's like, you know, I was just playing church, you know, and then, you know, it just take that magical day, you know, and when I think about, you know, the stuff that, you know, Christ created us to be creative. You know, he never said, listen, let there be a chair, let there be, he said, let there be light.
Yeah.
And that was it. You know, everything else he put on earth for us to use our mind to make it happen. You know, just like this mic that we're talking in, he put it into somebody and still said, listen, you're going to make metal, you're going to put this together, a microphone together, and that's how you're going to create a mic. You know, and that's what Christ does. So we have to understand, like, listen, there's a lot of stuff inside of us that Christ wants to use. He wants us to be creative. He's not going to give us the like the formula right in front of our face.
Yeah.
You know, but he's going to give us like different methods. You know, like, listen, you take this, you take that, and you take that, and you're going to create this.
And
You
this
know,
is
so
how you endure, right?
that's it.
Speaking of endure, we have this wonderful topic. All right?
Talk to us.
Shoshana.
No.
Talsia.
Yo,
How you,
should-
Sean out of
you should know that I am terrible with names. So I will call you something until I remember your name. But here's the thing. We have a topic,
Let's get it right for you.
Talsia.
That's it.
Right.
There it is. You see?
Real simple.
I don't know about that. But it's like,
It was
just
real
know,
simple, bro.
I got your name, all right? That reaction was wonderful, though. It's like, all right.
Yeah,
so,
she didn't even take it hard. She was just like,
I'm used to it.
she was like, okay, let me look who's Shoshana. And then somebody beside me, like, all right,
I wasn't expecting
let's start at Shoshana real quick.
all right. So our topic for tonight is war paint.
I love
Let me
it.
say that one more time. War
War
paint.
paint.
All right. So on the topic of enduring, it was pretty much like, how do you think it's hard to endure or for the past for certain things that you've done in the past? It's like, do you think it becomes harder to endure because the things that happened before, like as you come in Christ, you know that folks that you used to know, it's like they remember you one way, but do you let that like stop you, or the things that you used to do stop you or hinder you as you continue walking in Christ?
No, with me, once I was out of Christ, you know, once you're out of Christ, you're powerless. So once you gravitate and joyous, once you go through certain things, God is certainly pulling you closer to Him to, you know, because He has something that He needs you to do for the kingdom. And for me, I can only speak for myself. The things that I endured and what I've been through, I know that God was calling me back into His kingdom to do something that I didn't even imagine doing now, you know? So the things that I had to endure was hard. But because of what I've been through, it really helped me to grow more spiritual and get more radical and more deeper in Him, because the things that I had to face when I was outside of Christ was bigger than me, and I couldn't tackle them by myself. So I had to really check myself and see what God wants me to do and where He needs me to be. So the enduring part, I would honestly say, if it had not been for God, I really would have folded and just give up and just allow the devil to do whatever, and I probably wouldn't even be here right now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Why did you mention get back?
I wasn't in church. When I was married, I was just going to church, but not really where I need to be now. Like
Not
settled
serious,
in, yeah.
just kind of
Like,
playing
I was
with
just
it.
like going to different churches and just focusing on my family and my husband at the time I was married. So I wasn't where I wasn't there.
So you
Like,
think it was like a wake up call, like what you
yeah,
went
yeah, I believe that. I honestly believe that. I believe that God really allowed
Mhm.
certain things to happen for me to come back to
through?
Him.
Get serious.
Wow. But I think that's what God does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
You know, because, you know, when you think about any one of us story, you know,
Yeah.
all of us is out there and God used the same thing that we love, we're attracted to,
Hmm.
Yeah.
just to bring him back to him.
Yeah.
Because he said, listen, I know you're attracted to this, but this I'm
Yeah.
gonna use the same thing and bring you right back to me. You know, and you know, you said you was married, so you're not married anymore?
No.
Wow. Man, this is week 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're 0-2 this week.
Hey,
Yeah.
That's rough.
There's an increase in it.
Yeah.
Wow. Man. I don't know. It's just like 2 lovely ladies 2 weeks in a row that's was married and just
But
not
I
married
just
anymore.
feel like at the end of the day, like
Mhm.
how it happened, it was ordained to be like that.
Definitely.
If truly I wasn't in Christ as I, was
Mhm.
now.
Mm.
So if I really wanted my marriage to work, on my knees and but
Definitely.
I didn't have the strength and it was a lot. It was bigger than me.
Wow.
The stronghold was. I couldn't deal with it on my own.
So you don't really see it as like,
As a disappointment.
yeah, like you see it as it more empowered
Yeah.
you to get closer to Christ.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a big thing,
A
bro.
lot of people can't get over certain things. They get mad at God.
I wouldn't think it's the getting mad of God part, but I think it's more of the hurt part. You know,
Well-
because when you with somebody a certain amount of years
Yeah.
and you put on that ring for saying, listen, you're mine, I'm yours, and then like somebody wake up like, I'm not in love with you no more. That hurts.
Yeah, but I mean, with that being said, I understand what you're saying.
Mm.
But remember, Eva Inez.
Yes.
And she said she was doing everything. She was going to church. She was praising. She was loving God,
Yeah.
and it still happened. And she didn't take it as an opportunity to get mad at God, to curse God, and die.
Right.
But she was just like, oh, it had to happen, and rebound from it.
But the thing that I like about the stories with both of them is that both of them exceeded out of it and they
You have
became
to.
something better.
You have to.
You know, because when I think about,
can't just lay down.
Sister Talsia and what she's doing,
Yeah.
She's trying to encourage people. Like, listen, you might have been down the road, you might have been hurt before, but guess what?
Definitely.
There's always another way.
I-
You know,
I think there's a lot of women in church that have gone through that, and they're still wearing the hurt and the unforgiveness from
Yeah.
it. So I really do believe
me
that.
personally,
Yeah.
I don't think they forget.
They don't.
So I think every
They're
man,
like, I forget, but don't forget.
No, I
What's
think
your
every man
opinion?
that go through,
Do you
like honestly,
forget?
like tell me, like every man that goes, like come up on, like go to her, they're gonna have to deal with that. It's that barrier they gotta bring down. And even though they bring it down, like say a certain amount,
Mhm.
and they might say, okay, good, I'm getting over that wall, it comes right back up.
Okay.
Because a lot of women don't want to go through that hurt anymore.
I
Okay.
don't think I necessarily forget, but I forgive him. Because I realize it was him that allowed the marriage to, fall apart. It was the devil.
Mhm.
The door was open, and the enemy came in and did whatever he needed to do. So, because I was much more spiritually inclined than he was, he'd gotten more warnings, and he kind of just never received it. So, God had to just, that foundation had to be destroyed.
Of course.
Yeah.
You
So-
wanted it destroyed?
No, but looking back now and where I'm at now,
It's better for it to happen
it's
that
better.
way.
It's better because I wouldn't be where I'm at now
Definitely.
to help other young women and to come up with a brand to reach people and to encourage someone that they can thrive and they can
In
make
spite
it
of, yeah.
in spite of whatever it is that
Definitely.
they're facing. Wake up that giant inside of them. I feel like I'm a giant slayer. I feel like I can
Yeah.
do. I don't think there's nothing that I can't overcome, to be honest. If I can, I never mentioned I'm a cancer survivor. I just celebrated 1 year of being cancer free.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congrats.
you.
Wow.
And
Man, I would
it's a big deal for me
literally
because-
like
yeah.
jump up and give you a high five. 'Cause trust me, that's like
And I went through that process while getting a divorce.
wow.
They didn't want to be with me anymore. So all of these things,
Wow.
made me much more stronger and much more wiser and just, more. I have a really great relationship with God, and that's most important for me.
Of course.
You know, when everybody else turned their back on me and
Yeah.
walked out
God
and
was
left
there.
me, thought I was gonna be dead.
Yeah.
God really, really restored me. He was there for me. He was just, you know, and praying people.
Yeah.
People surrounded by people that will pray me. My pastor Kenyatta
Wow.
and his wife and
Yeah.
you know, my church family. I really thank God for them.
Oh,
you know?
definitely.
So
That's my brother from another mother.
yeah, that's my pastor. That's my
Mhm.
my brother.
But you know,
They're
you
awesome.
mentioned something, you know, and the thing that you went through, lymphoma. You know, my wife was stage 4. She went through the same thing, and the thing that I think like really crushed me was not the fact that, because I mean, I know she was like an overcomer. You know, she was doing it. She was strong with it. But it was like a lot of people. There's like a couple of people that was around us at that time passed away from the same thing.
That's rough.
So it was like when I seen her went through that, she was like, like really close people, and they passed away, and she like you started to see like the decline, like wow, am I gonna make it?
Yes.
And that's where I had to be like, you know what, nah,
That's
get out of that mindset.
Yeah.
You know, encourage yourself. You
Absolutely.
know, get up and go.
That's right.
And then to hear that your story, like you're going through that, and then no one is there to encourage you. It's like
Nobody.
wow,
Yeah.
you know, you got to encourage yourself. You know, just
Yeah.
like the Bible say, listen, you got to encourage yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's not going to be nobody there to encourage you.
That's it.
And to hear that, it just like hit me like wow, like you know, like here's my wife that went through the same thing, but she had me like a clutch, like listen, like you know, come on, babe, you got this.
Yeah.
You know, pick it up.
Definitely.
You know, come on, I got you. I'm with you. You know, I ain't gonna let you die. You know, God ain't gonna let you die. You know, I was encouraging her.
Yeah.
Keep going, keep pushing, keep pressing. Where you're going through this, and then guess what? You already have this big, heavy burden above you, and then boom, you know, somebody walks out of your life.
Yeah.
But the thing I like about God, He said, listen, if people want to go, let them go.
Let 'em go.
That's it.
That's it.
What He has in store for you is going to be better. That person is not part of your destiny. You know, when I think about the story of Oprah, you know, when Oprah was there with, you know, Ruth, you know, and Oprah's like, listen, you know, call me Mara, I'm done. I'm over it. I don't want to deal with it because she lost her husband and she lost her sons. You know, she like, call me Marva because she's pretty much bitter. You know, you never took the bitter route.
No.
You know, you pretty much encouraged yourself and you came through it.
Yeah.
You know, and
I feel like you meant Naomi.
Naomi, my bad. Wow, you paying attention. Yeah, you paying attention. That was a test.
Oprah just said deuce.
Oprah said deuces.
Oprah hit
She
it.
cleared it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she cleared it. She like, I'm
That's
good.
my story, man.
That's your story.
I can't.
Yeah, you're right. You're
like-
doing the play on that.
Yeah, well, it's something we're working on. Something.
Yeah, you're working on that. But yeah, you're right. That is true.
Oh, he knows
You know,
the story.
He knows the story. That was a test and he passed it. You know, but you know, when I think about, you know, and I always people say it all the time, like, listen, whenever people want to walk out your life, just let them go.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
don't hold on to them, don't pull on, because sometimes you hold on to something that's just a dead thing in your life, and it's just gonna pull you down more. And to
Exactly.
see that you went through all that
Exactly.
and where you're at today, man, all I always say is, man, to God be the glory,
Yeah.
great things He has done.
Yeah.
Because you know, I mean, to go through just that alone, and then to had that on top of it, wow.
But like I was thinking about, you know, if it's of God, it's gonna last. It's gonna
Right.
stand.
Amen.
Even
Yeah.
if it goes away, it'll come right back and it'll stand right in front
But
of
it
you.
makes you a stronger person.
Yeah. That's why I said last
you-
week, you have to
yeah.
go through things on your own sometimes.
Because you remember you said like a couple weeks ago when we were talking about marriages and stuff, and you're like, listen, like, man, you look like the first 5 years, like, psh, man, that ain't nothing.
Yeah.
You know, to relive it.
Yeah.
You know, that's like her. Like anything that gets thrown at her, she like, psh, come on, seriously. Like, bring it harder than that. I got this.
That's
right.
it. That's
You know, and it made her so stronger. You know what I mean? And you know, I encourage you just to listen to her what she got to say and listen to what she been through. You know, and go support her. You know, Kingdom Culture.
Yeah.
You know, .com. You know, she has stuff on there. You know that she. You know, she's promoting. Like,
I
listen.
felt like it was
you know, like
Kingdom
McLeish.
Culture Couture.
Kingdom Culture.
Kingdom Culture Couture. I keep forgetting
All
the
right,
couture
all right.
part.
Let's
But
get
Kingdom
that
Culture
right.
Couture, you know, and also Kenyatta got
That's
his shirts on
selective
there that say nothing beats prayer, but prayer
Yeah.
beats
That's
everything.
I'm
Yeah.
actually wearing this shirt
That's
right
it right
now.
there.
Yeah, I have the green one, but it was kind of fitted. I couldn't
army
wear that
green.
tonight. Yeah, it was too tight, man. I couldn't do it. I literally had to see like,
Nah, all that is goals, man. I'm like, yeah, it's my goal.
that's my goal. That is my goal.
All right.
You're right, 286. I'm at 317. From
Bless
386, I'm hitting it. Killing it. Crushing it.
You been
I'm
doing
waiting on
good,
you to
man.
come on board, but
Yeah, I'll get on
You're gonna be
board.
waiting forever. Jesus,
Wow.
Jesus might come back before he get on board.
So
Is
what
that
if
a
they
challenge,
find you
my
to get over
guy?
this, though?
Is that a challenge?
Hey, take it how you want.
All right.
Take it how you want to.
I just feel like I have my 2 children to live for.
Two.
I have 2, yeah.
So you had them before or after?
I have a almost 8-year-old.
Mhm.
And then this last one here, she's almost 3.
Wow.
So I found out that I was battling with cancer right after having her.
Mm.
I noticed I had symptoms, but the doctors, they diagnosed me with something else called cholestasis. I had itching. And when I had her, I noticed my lymph node in my neck was swollen. So when I went to the emergency room, they ran tests and they was like, oh, I seen masses in your neck. I was in the hospital for a whole week.
Wow.
But when everything was said and done, I went home and I went to the oncologist for a follow-up, and he told me, I was like, well, just get it out the way and get it over with. It is what it is. He's like, oh, you have to do chemo and all that. But God kind of put that on pause. He didn't allow certain things to open up for me. So I wasn't able to start treatment right away. So I lived with the symptoms for almost a year. Yeah. And I was doing natural stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when it was getting really bad, so it was like, okay, well, now you need to do chemo. And I was like, I'm ready. I'm just gonna get it out the way. I believe God for my healing. I know that I was gonna be fine. I looked at my 2 children. I was like, they need me.
And you think that's what was your that's what your crush was? That what your push was?
My big push was my children.
I'm sorry, but you're Jamaican, right?
Yeah.
I'm amazed that you weren't like that type of Jamaican who's like, I'm not going to the doctor. I got herbs.
The bush.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I did try to do that.
Oh, you did? All right. Because like,
I did. I was like, I'm doing natural stuff. The sauce up leaf and all of that. It's like,
but all in all, actually, that stuff does work.
yeah.
It does.
The new person that I'm following that's like encouraged me to become this big vegan thing person nowadays is Yada.
Bless you.
Yeah, oh, trust me, like I've been vegan for like the past 3 weeks, like literally no meat.
3
Like,
weeks?
I'm being no seriously, like real
Yo,
talk.
that's
like I've been using like spelt flour. Like my wife, like she's like, yo, pick up this flour. I'm like, what? They made that? And like literally, I've been on it for 3 weeks, and like honestly, like I watch like Yada, he's on Instagram. I watch him like a lot, and he said, listen, like the biggest thing that feeds cancer is sugar.
Yeah, definitely. That's true.
Like if you cut that out your diet, like bro, you start killing cancer. And like he's like, people don't understand. Like, and then I was watching this lady that she's called Fully Raw Christina. She got bit by a spider when she was in the jungle, and all she does is like everything she does is raw. She don't cook anything, like mushrooms, everything she's eating raw, and she pretty much healed herself.
Yeah.
And when I think about like, I started looking up like, why does the human body dies? And doctors are still like wondering like, how does the body die? Because the body's it's built to rebuild itself.
Yeah, it does.
It's built that way to rebuild itself, but you have to put the right things in it.
Exactly.
If you're gonna put trash in it, then guess what? That's what you're gonna get from it.
Yeah, you got to rebuild with something good.
Right. So like I was watching like Fully Raw Christina, which she does like straight everything is fully raw, and like she got bit in the jungle by some like poisonous spider, and the body healed itself because of what she ate.
Definitely.
And I was watching Yada, and Yada like, listen, man, diabetes, cancer, all that. He said like, cut out the sugar, cut out like this, cut out that. It's like different stuff you have to cut out of your diet. And trust me, you could kill all that stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
And because the body's naturally, built
Of course.
to be that way.
Definitely.
And,
Well, here's the thing. I respect you for that.
yeah, you love fried chicken.
Nah, it's not that. I
What do you
love
love?
food.
Yeah, fried chicken.
I love food. Let's get that right. Food. I will eat your vegan stuff, but I will still,
I don't think you'll eat it.
He gonna eat it.
do not disrespect me.
I'm not
that.
disrespecting. I'm just saying.
I will eat it. I will try it,
You'll
but
try it.
I'm not gonna stick to it because
Bro, this literally-
I like variety.
Hold on, this drink that I drink every day, it tastes literally like
Listen,
chalk. It's like
I
fully
drink-
gray.
I drank
tastes
this thing
like
called
chalk.
Noonie.
Noni's nothing compared to what I drink, bro.
Okay,
Honestly.
all right. All right.
I've had Noni, but I'm telling you, like this thing that I drink is like literally chalk. It's gray. It's just it tastes like a chalkboard.
Okay.
Like literally.
That's the
But
flavor.
don't wait for something to happen. God forbid.
And that's what I about every day.
change. You know. Yeah,
Like,
you
try to
gotta-
change
yeah.
now.
Diet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll cut
Like the
that.
body, like honestly, I was reading up. You know, they said the body wasn't actually meant to digest meat.
Wow.
Yeah,
What?
the Bible tells you that.
Huh.
Seeds, fruits. That's what the Bible
Nah, I
tells you.
said
when you
everything in the
Herb,
garden
yeah.
is
No, they didn't. No, they wasn't eating animals.
They weren't eating animals,
eating
bro.
the
I said
herbs-
I
the
was
herbs
I was
and-
informed everything
and
in
the
the garden was
fruits.
good. It's like to eat. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but they wasn't eating animals because there was no death until the sin. That's when the sacrifice came, and that's when the killing and the shedding
So
of
Adam,
blood.
Adam
I
used to
just-
walk around and going like, what's this?
Yeah, but they had
That's
everything.
strawberry.
Yeah, fruits. They had everything.
Listen.
And the-
I ain't see where it's like you can't. They didn't eat meat. It's just they didn't kill. So I don't know how they ate it, but everything in the garden was good to eat. That's how
Never said
Yeah.
animals though.
I ain't never said that. I just said
how you gonna
everything in the garden is good to eat.
how you gonna kill a cow that you named?
What? Simple.
How you gonna kill a
get
cow that you named?
What? You know
It's
what?
like
I'm
a
not
pet
getting
then.
into.
It's like a pet.
What that's supposed to mean?
Okay, all right. I'll let you have that. I'll let you,
Listen.
you got
Reason
that.
why I could say this is like
You got that.
there's World War I, World War II. Prime examples in France. There were no dogs, no cats making noise. So because it's like, I think it's Germany locked them in, so they did not get food.
Thank you for the history lesson.
So it's like
I
Anything,
don't
my
understand
guy.
Thank you for the
German,
history
but,
lesson.
but did you change your eating habit?
Actually, I had to.
You had to.
Yeah. I had
So
to.
what's your diet based off now?
I still eat like chicken, but I don't eat like ribs and beef.
No
and
beef,
pork
no
and stuff
pork.
Like that, yeah.
Red meat.
All white
I will
meat.
eat a salad all day. That's my favorite thing.
That's my thing too.
But
right
you
now.
know
Tear it up.
my wife had breast cancer, by the way, too. She
wow.
she got died.
yeah?
Yeah, she had breast cancer. And they cut it out after my 5-year-old now daughter. She was noticing she wouldn't suck from the right breast, and we did a lot of research. We did the same thing you did. Started going like natural.
Yeah.
They was recommending chemo and recommending taking the lymph nodes out, and we did a lot of research.
Well, I
with
had one of mine taken out to test it.
yeah, but a lot of people were getting a lot of their lymph nodes taken out, and the lymph nodes they help you.
Yeah, to
And-
let you know what's going on with the body.
Yeah, and a lot of people, even the chemo kills good blood, cells too, and a lot of people don't do their
No,
research.
the chemo does kill good cells.
Well, it kills the bad and it kills the
It kills the
good.
bad, and it
Yeah.
doesn't know the difference.
Yeah, and then
Right.
the body just has to rejuvenate
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people they just take the word of like these doctors, they aggressively treat an aggressive thing. And I think sometimes if they just took a little while back to do their research
Right.
like you did, you took a
That's-
year back and you did a
yeah.
lot of. I think they would find out what would actually work for their unique particular situation and body. Because a lot of people just jump into a categorized, formulation of how to beat this thing.
That's true.
And everyone can't beat it the same way.
They can't. Everybody, but we all know that everybody. Listen, my fingerprint and your fingerprint are not the
It's
same.
different. Yeah, exactly.
My voice and your voice is not the same. So
Yeah.
there's no way I'm gonna say, okay, man, Donovan lost weight by, eating Dunkin' Donuts every day.
Yeah.
He had his coffee. He ate Dunkin' Donuts. He ate nothing else at dinner. Now he lost like 15 pounds. I'm gonna try the same thing. Nah, it's not. It might not work for me.
And even if we had the same sickness, the same medication is
It's
not gonna work
for you. Yeah,
because different
definitely.
body styles.
A lot of people body
types.
reject chemo.
Yeah, different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's facts.
exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people body reject chemo, and they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, I don't want that. I don't want to deal with it. But to me, like the natural thing, you know what I mean? And it literally took like my mind, like really like making up my mind, like listen, like yo, I'm about to stop eating like seriously like fish.
Hey, you stop eating fish.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm gonna stop eating chicken.
Oh, okay.
Man, I'm gonna stop eating pork. Bro, that pork is good, bro.
Yeah, that pork-
Especially that fatty part.
Yeah, that's the
Nah.
best.
Oh man, dude, that thing goes down
I
so
can't eat
beautiful.
that. I
Yeah.
don't like
I
that.
don't know about you, but yeah, boy. But like, it took like a lot of make-up mind to say, listen, I'm gonna stop. And I remember when I met my trainer Andrew,
Yeah.
which been on here before.
Yeah.
And the first day I stepped on the scale, like, bro, I weigh 386 pounds. I was like, nah, brother,
Wow.
this can't work. And he's like, bro, we could do something about it. You know what I mean? I start following everything that he said. And I mean, we follow different stuff because like I said, a lot of stuff don't work. And
Yeah, you gotta try.
different stuff.
Yeah,
And I found like what worked for me, and it still
Definitely.
works for me right now.
definitely.
And I went from 386 to right now where I'm like 318. And I'm like, wow, like, bro, like, you know, 70 pounds is a lot of weight, bro. You know, I was looking up on YouTube one day, was like looking at 5 pounds of fat. And when I saw like what the people that had the 5 pounds, I was like, damn, like, bro, like, I was
5
like
pounds
70
good.
pounds of that, bro. I'm like, wow. You know, it just encourages to go more.
Yeah.
You know, you feel better. You know, everything about you, you feel more like into yourself.
Yeah.
You know, because like I never used to like take pictures. Like you take a picture of me, I'm like, bro, like delete that. Like I ain't with that, bro. You know, but now I can like I see the slender on my face and stuff like that. I feel better.
Yeah.
You know, and
So what happened when you
Boost
get a
your
haircut?
confidence.
It's like you don't feel yourself. You just
oh,
like
boy,
nah, don't take it.
I'm about to get a haircut tonight.
Oh, okay, it's like I
I'm
ain't
gonna
want to
be
say nothing, but
I'm gonna be all over Instagram.
facts.
Deacon _ Hayden. Hit me up. You'll see it. I'm gonna be all over Instagram tonight.
So
and my thing is like, let me tell you something. Like anybody that's been through anything, you know, like I'm gonna tell you, like I told Minister Eva last week, like listen, flood Instagram, man, flood Facebook. Let people know what you've been through. Let people know what you overcame. You know, a lot of people, if they want to fight against you, talk about you, just ignore it. You know, and it's a thing that I found out, like, even when I started my weight loss journey, you know, and I was, like, putting stuff out, people were like, you're going to quit in, like, 2 months or whatever. And I had to fight over all that. You know, I had to ignore all that. People going to talk trash, guess what? That elevates you to go more.
Yeah.
It pushes you to
Pushes
go
you,
more.
yeah.
You know, and I tell people, like I told, you know, Minister Even, I tell other people, like, listen, you've been through this, bro. You've been through that for a reason. Let people know what you've been through.
It's not for you. It's to let people know.
Let people know.
Yeah.
You're gonna encourage somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna hit you up one day when you least expect it, and you're gonna be like,
And
you're
I've
like,
actually
man,
had people hit me up.
see,
Have many females, even people.
bro, I
come
got
to me
people
at
flood my
church.
Instagram like,
They
listen,
watch.
bro,
Yeah, they watch.
Yeah.
They
like
know.
how you lost all that weight, how you did this, how you did that. I talk stuff like, yo, this is what I did. You know, I got a
Man,
trainer.
yeah.
I got somebody that's
People
gonna
are
push me.
watching, yeah.
You know, people look at you, but then you got people that's gonna try and pull you down,
Yeah.
and that's their job.
Yeah.
You know, just like the enemy, what's his job is to kill, steal, and destroy. You know, he wants to destroy. He wants to pull you back. He wants to put you back to where you know. You know, it's a different when you renew your mind and make up your mind and move forward. But then when you have your mind made up and you're still thinking about the past, you're just thinking about where you were instead of thinking about where you can be. You know, and I can tell that's my biggest thing. What I tell people all the time, like, listen, man, you have this platform, like spread it.
Yes.
Don't care, bro. If somebody say something, say, okay, thank you, keep it moving. God bless you. But you never know. It's just one person you might tell. Maybe one person might be going through it by saying, you know what, I'm done. I'm giving up. And just by hearing your story, guess what? They say, you know what? I can't do it because this person made it through it.
Yes.
And that's all they needed to see.
Yep.
Do you feel that you do have a personal zeal or desire to make it your business to help people and encourage them that have gone through this or
I
going?
actually wanted to. I'm in the process of starting to help young women to feel pretty, and when they're going through the process, to give them hope, let them know that they're not alone. Because sometimes they don't
get
have
down.
that much support. You know, they feel down. They don't feel like they're gonna make it. You know, so I wanted to kind of transition into that. I started to make head wraps, sew them myself, and I wanted to sometime maybe go to the hospital and sit with them and just kind of pray with them and talk to them. So that's what I'm trying to do now. So it's a little planning and kind of putting everything together. But I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about what I do now, as far as making T-shirts. I have people that reach out to me from Jamaica and all over. Right now, Hillsong
Wow.
wants to push my story.
Wow, that's nice.
That's
So,
huge.
Yeah.
When they called me from Australia, to be honest, and interviewed me, and was like they want to feature my story. So I'm hoping that as I continue to do this, then more people will find out
definitely.
about
It'll
it,
happen.
and it get big. And
I'm curious. Your journey
yeah,
to open up your own business to become an entrepreneur.
yes,
All right. Let me stop being extra with it. But all right. So, but what caused you to like say, you know what, I'm going to do this, from out of that depressive state to like, all right, I'm just going to do this? Because you said earlier, kids found out that you have your thing,
right,
and then not only found out about that, while going through that thing, you your spouse that you were with, who was supposed to be your rock,
Your rock.
say, you know what, I'm not cut out for this. I'm due to something else. And then it's like, still have to deal with not only the divorce, because lawyers just trying to take your money. Facts. And then it's like, there's the doctor bill on top of that, and it's bills upon bills upon bills. So what? Like, say, you know what? I'm going to do this.
Yeah. I just kind of stepped out on faith. Not only that, allowing God to use him, and he really, you know, spoke into my life. I took everything that he said that day, and he's like, "There's people in here that's gonna start writing books and starting their business and things like that." And I already had the idea that I wanted to do a clothing brand, but I just didn't know what way to go or how to go about it. And a prophet I talked to before, he told me that he see me where I'm going to be starting my clothing line, and everything added up. He told me that I'm going to start it. I already have the name. I'm going to start it up, and then I'm going to find a manufacturer, and everything lining up. And I was like, wow, okay. So I just went ahead and go for, after that message that Pastor preached, I just went ahead and just, started. I went by faith. I didn't have a lot of money. I just I think I had maybe like a few $100s, and I just went from there. And, I just, that's it.
Did you get any kind of help, or did you just?
I did it by myself.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, I did everything by myself.
okay.
Yeah.
Just a beast.
Basically, everything that you were going through was agitating and stirring everything in
Yeah.
you to actually sow that seed and to go all in.
Yeah.
And it just starts. It's blossoming now. So that's beautiful
I did
because
everything
I
by
got a question. Do you regret anything?
I knew you probably would have asked that.
Why?
So I kind of prepared no, I don't regret anything.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't change a thing that has happened in my
Okay,
life.
yeah.
No.
that's it.
Because I mean, from one believer to another, like I've been through a lot of stuff in my life, and trust me, like if I was going to tell you my story, I don't regret anything.
No, I don't.
I appreciate the road I walked on.
I've actually heard, and I like to be transparent, and it makes me feel good because I know that God is really, because what I've been through in my marriage, and it went, it failed, and I've lived today to hear the same person that walked away from me speaking to me and encourage me and how proud he is of me. And I'm the same one that has been encouraging him as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember one second. I remember the night when I was there and I was ministering when they were talking about the 7 last sayings of Christ.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I walked up there and I was singing, "I'm crucified, lay behind the stone," I looked up and me and her eyes made like 4, and I was like, man, she looks familiar to me. And she kind of like threw me off for a second because I was like thinking, like, where did I know her from? I was like, okay, never mind. Let me get back into it, because, you got to get yourself into that place, to me, when you want to minister.
And you started belting again.
Excuse me?
You started belting.
Singing. I don't belt. I don't know what you're
All
talking
right.
about.
You get up there and then it's like,
Maybe you belt, but I don't.
last time I
sing.
checked, he's like, you get up there sometimes when you're on the stage. So
I
it's
do
like,
get up there, but that's the Holy Spirit inside of me that's raising
yeah,
up.
causing
But
you to
anyways,
belt.
but bro, how you get that as belted? I don't get it.
I don't know. It's just how I process
You
things.
think about the belt.
Belted, like how does someone
You
belt?
safe tonight, brother man.
Again, it's like.
But I remember when I was
Our
ministering, and then I was up there ministering. I looked at like Evangelist Kettis, because I was trying to like whenever you go somewhere and you're not familiar with the atmosphere, you kind of like
Locked in somebody familiar
lock in the
with.
people that you know.
Yeah.
So I was looking at like Evangelist Baker because I know her.
Yeah.
I was looking like Evangelist Kettis,
Familiar
Pastor
faces.
Waldo.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just kept clicking on her, and I'm like, I don't know her. And the Holy Spirit was like,
that
okay,
connection
let's look
with
at
the
her.
wife.
And I was like, but I don't know her. And like I look at her and I close my eyes and I'm like, I don't know her. And I open my eyes and I'm looking at her again. And I'm like, Jesus, what are you trying to tell me?
She gotta
And then
say-
something
pray
that
for
said to
her.
me like, just reach out to her and like,
That's
Yeah.
it.
let's reach out to her, and see like, if she want to, be a part of this and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, she accepted the offer and she's like, no problem, I'll come through.
Listen, yeah.
And I was like, no wonder, because like that's the Holy Spirit. He makes
Yeah,
connections.
Definitely.
And it's like so many people in the room, but I was just like focused
But
on
God
her.
will show you things or people, like, even though you don't know them, like, look, he's showing you, like, you're going to meet that, there's some
There's
purpose,
some of it,
there's
yeah.
a reason why you're looking at that person. He's showing you that person.
Well, you had the same spirit his wife had, overcome the same disease. So
exactly,
you had the
Right,
same overcoming
the
spirit.
connection,
There
yeah.
had to be a connection.
So that's
right
that's
there.
why you were locked in your spirit. You know her. But you know what I was thinking? I was thinking like when I found out my wife had breast cancer and I had the kids, and I'm like, man, her mother passed away at like 50, and it was an experience for me. Cause I'm like, just like you say, the bad things race through your mind, like what if, and I'm like, I gotta, so I was in that like fight or flight mode. But it was hard to get myself together to be like, we're gonna beat this thing.
Wow.
It was and really in truth, like for her to go through it and really not show as much, cause she kept me from panicking. Because I was about to go panic and she was like,
I'm about to get like,
you straight? And she's like, yeah.
I'm about to get real transparent, and it's like I've never said it before, but when my wife was going through that, I had no belief system.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. I'm being dead honest. I had like no belief system.
That's
My
a
belief
big
was
hit.
like, okay, I had like 40 stacks in the bank. I'm like, okay, whatever it takes,
Yeah.
she gonna come out of this.
Yeah.
That was my belief system.
Wow.
Yeah, money.
Was the money I had in the
Yeah,
bank.
for real.
I had no belief system in Christ.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, have faith. Bruh, you're not facing what I'm facing or what we're facing. Don't tell me have faith.
That's it.
Wow.
And it's just like when somebody passed away and you're like, oh man, just hold your head up. Da, da, da.
Yeah, it's hard.
You're not going through what I'm going through to tell me to hold my head up. And I was like, people tell me stuff and I was like, bro, chill. Like, yeah, I got 40 stacks. That's something I'm relying on. Something gonna happen. And I remember when I went to the doctor, to get full of prescription because she had to take like some injections, and they're like, well, the injection's gonna be like, I think it was like $15,000. Like, I got that. That's nothing, and then they ended up being free.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh? It's free? Okay, whatever, I take it. And I think like my wife going through all that really like built my faith system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna say to you when you say your the ex and he's talking to you and he's looking at you for support because it's like you're a hero, like
Yeah.
you went
Right.
through it and it's like
You are a hero.
yeah, because it's like I'm not trying to fault him for anything
Yeah.
because like I say, I was to that point where I was like, man, this is rough. And I could have, if I was a lesser person than I
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
I would have bowed out
Would've,
and been
yeah,
like, I
yeah.
can't do this. But just by seeing the strength in her, it gave me more strength. And I look at her as a hero, like you went through something that I don't know if I could have went through.
Exactly,
And you did it
right.
like a soldier. So I commend you
I
on
commend
that.
you for that.
Yeah, for real.
Especially going through what you went through and also, dealing with your divorce and dealing with all that.
Yeah.
It had to be like,
And going to school.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or just
Get
add,
my degree. Yeah.
and
Studied, stayed up in
I
health
think
science.
I think I need to get on a laptop.
anything else? You fly helicopters or airplanes too?
I
Anything
know,
else?
right? Now, what are we missing?
So I
this,
know that I can do all things through Christ.
Who strengthens you.
me.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
we have no limits, bro. And when we understand that we have no limits, nothing can phase us. I was reading a story this week, about this lady. She writes about like minorities, but then she saw DC that says it's illegal to eat on the train. And she worked for the metro train station, and she was eating on the train. And this lady like took a picture and she was like, oh, tweeting it like to the DC people, like, listen, why this person eating on the train, trying to hope something comes out of it. And whenever when I was reading the story, and then like the black girls, like humanitarian that like went after her, and then she lost like so much because she was like an author. Having a book come out and all this, and they dropped her, just by she pulling that stunt, and she had to end up shutting down her Twitter account. And nothing happened to the lady because apparently, like the train that she was like going after before broke down, so she had to like pretty much smash her lunch and then go back to work. So it was like no fire, it wasn't a fireable
Worthy offense.
event. I mean, it was just like maybe she got written up or whatever, but they were like nothing's coming out of it. But this lady lost so much, trying to put down somebody.
Yeah.
So. You never know
Yeah.
who you come in contact with, bro.
Definitely, that's true.
You look at somebody that's been through so much. Like when I listen to your story, you've been through so much. You overcame it. But yes, still there's somebody's gonna come and try and like put you down,
Yeah.
not knowing what you've been through. And even like that's what I always tell people. Like with me, like also like I'm so used to fighting. Like bro, you say it's XYZ, I'm ready to like DEF. Like let's go.
Yeah.
But now I've been to a state where it's like, okay, you XYZ, God bless you.
Yeah.
DEF.
Don't worry about that. But anyways, it's like, I'm like, God bless you. Like, chill. I mean, I'm good. I take a humble state back. But when you start taking that humble state back and let God fight your battles,
Yeah.
bro, you ain't got to worry about nothing.
No.
This lady lost so much. We're trying to incriminate one person.
Yeah.
And she lost everything pretty much she was trying to build.
Yeah.
Just for one person.
Definitely.
Where it's like, listen, when you see somebody, like, you don't know what somebody's going through, what
Yeah.
somebody's facing. And I'm a big person. Like, I'm a big believer. Like, listen, help your mates. You know, help other people.
Amen.
You know, pull other people up. When you see somebody sinking, you know, and the thing that I dislike about our culture, you know, as Jamaica, they call it like the crab in the barrel thing. You know, you see a crab body come out, you're like, yo, come here. Come on down.
That's not just in the Jamaican culture, man.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, that's human beings.
You know what I mean?
bro.
That's human being in general. You're right.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and instead we like take that energy and focus and say, listen, man, you I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what you went through. You know, and I see you rising up and you're doing this. You know, let me help you push it up.
Yeah.
This is something it's something that happened at my job the other day, and you know, I went back there. They called me back there. I was like, listen, what's going on, man? What's the deal? Da, 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 da. And the lady was like, well, you know, she's trying to tell me to do X, Y, Z, but she's not asking you to do nothing that you're getting paid to do. That's your job. You know, so why are you fighting against somebody? But the thing is that whenever they see their own culture above them, that's how they act.
Yeah.
I never understand that.
Yes,
And
sir.
you see it a lot in the Christian community.
Of course.
You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
somebody get raised up or somebody move up and they're like, huh,
True.
let me try and pull them down. Let me try and find something on them.
Yes.
You know, that's going to pull them back down into their hole or pull them back.
Everybody has that in there.
Well-
It's like if I see you doing the same thing as me or worse, I don't care. But if you
Exactly.
start doing better than me,
Nah.
I start to say like, hey, hold
Nah,
on,
Hold on,
But-
bro. You going too far.
Especially if it happened just like that.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be
But
like,
sometimes you got humble people though. It's like they get too big for their britches, so it's like you like humble.
can
them.
tell
you said sometimes
you
you
can tell
have to
the
humble
people.
people. You saying sometimes you have to humble people? Is that what you said?
Yeah, because some people can't handle it. They get like
No, you shouldn't have to humble nobody.
it's
You
like,
can genuinely,
all right.
you can genuinely
humble
tell
anybody.
Sometimes
who's in this for the, and who's just in
Hype.
this for the.
True. That's true.
okay.
You can tell.
Yeah, and then it's like those ones that you know is in there for the hype. Just like, hey,
But why would you have to humble them?
because you know that when God humbles them, it's like it's never really pretty. So you do it yourself.
No.
So, like, so,
But the God never told you to go around and judge nobody. He never told you to go
just
around and
saying.
humble nobody.
You say what God does is not really pretty. So you gonna do it and make it look prettier than
no,
God.
I ain't trying to make it pretty, but it's like mine is lesser compared to when God
man.
steps
I don't
in.
believe in
Hey.
that.
But it's like, hey,
I'd
guess-
rather take it from God than man.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what David said.
well,
I'd
I know
rather
myself,
turn myself
so
over
I
to
can't
God
really
than
talk
man.
about other people. But yeah,
Bro, I
Man,
wanna-
man don't have no mercy.
Bro, you have such a beautiful name, but I don't understand, bro. You're thinking, bro. Like your name is Matthew. And when I think about Matthew in the Bible,
He was a tax collector.
but it's like all the apostle kids,
He's a-
bro. It's
he's a
like
tax
you got
people.
Matthew, Daniel,
Hey,
and then we're not gonna call it.
he gonna make sure he get every red cent out of you.
it's like,
He gonna make sure you pay that to the utmost. Farther
yeah,
than
so
might, whatever.
quick question. Talisha.
Oh Lord.
Talsia, bro.
Talsia.
I felt like I said it right though. I felt like it. What?
All right, forget it.
Can you tell
Um,
me your name?
Talsia.
You sound like
Say it
you.
with me.
Talsia.
Say it one more time.
Talsia.
All right.
One more
Talisia,
time.
right?
One more
Say it one
time.
more time.
Talsia.
Talisia.
All right.
Bro,
So-
you just got to the elementary school. Bro.
Okay, so start over now.
All right, so Talisa, right? Quick question.
He did it on purpose.
Yeah, I did. All right, Talsia. All right.
Wait. Oh, you learn at school.
That's how he
I did
learned.
everything.
Actually,
I did everything
Backwards.
possible to like.
no, you did it
graduate.
backwards. Yeah.
So it's like I didn't cheat as much, but I did. I
you
did.
cheat as much.
Lord.
You
I
cheated.
can't. I'm not going to lie and say like, yeah, I didn't look at other people's
Plead the
paperwork.
fifth. That's what they got that for. Plead the fifth.
Nah, it's not necessary. Not for school. It's
You don't have to
like-
incriminate
All right,
yourself,
get to
bro.
the
But anyway,
question.
so
Talsia.
a question. Before you became an entrepreneur and like you say, you know what, I'm just gonna go by God's lead and do my brand. Do my brands. Like get my brand out there. How do you deal with all that emotional, mental stress and so forth?
Well, thank God, I had my sister to kind of help. My sister and me, we have like this awesome bond.
Is that the
What's her
sister
name?
that's
That's
here
my
tonight?
sister, yeah.
Yeah, we should have brought you on.
You wanna step in real quick? Just
Come on.
Oh, she camera shy.
But she been like, help take my mind off of certain things. Like we'll just, and the children, we act a fool in the house, you know. She was there with me, and so it kind of helped me. And then I wasn't going to church for a little while because of the symptoms and the chemo and stuff. So she kind of helped a lot where that is concerned, to help take my mind off. We used to just go out when I feel good. We'll go out to eat,
Enjoy your life.
and just enjoy
She didn't want
What
you to
else
stay
did we
home
do?
by yourself.
Movies.
I feel like you need to be a part of this.
I think one
Because
of
we
the
can't-
one of
we
the
can't hear
future
you.
things we're gonna install a mic over there.
Yeah, facts.
Right, Ruth, then, so you can get into the
We
mix
just
too.
had fun, like, you know, we order food and eat, and we just, you know. It
So that was your boost, Billy.
just-
Need that,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
Family
kinda-
bond.
That's family bond.
Just helped me get through the whole.
You know the thing that makes me nervous when
Mm.
it comes to like females, like Miss Talsia right here, they become very independent because they've been through so much,
Yeah.
and then whenever like somebody try to get close to them like a male figure, they got to do so much work.
Jesus.
When I mean so much work, bro,
Yeah.
this man got to work. Let me this man has got to work so hard
Facts.
to get even close to her.
Facts.
And it's like, wow, like, and you can't get mad because what she's been through
Yeah.
and what somebody has done to her. Because when you understand somebody's at their lowest spot and then you just say, you know what, yeah, I gotta quit, gotta split, peace, and just walk out on you,
Tough.
that is tough.
Mhm.
And it puts you into a level where it's like, you know what,
Tough.
there's a lot of stuff I could say that we can't say on here, but they say, to heck with a man.
Yeah.
I got this. I can do this. What type of person? I can do this all by myself.
Mhm.
And when you get a woman in that mentality,
Yeah.
bruh, that's what the society is. That's what society is nowadays. A woman.
But look, man, like what I was saying, like for real, the reason why I say that you have to go through a lot of things like by yourself. What I mean by yourself as far as I can't look at man. But when I take my eyes off man, because that's what my reflex or my innate ability is gonna look for man to try and help me through.
Yeah.
It's gonna look to you because you might be going through what I'm going through, or you got the money, or you because you've been through it. But when I look to God and I take man out of the equation and I look to God, He gonna send me everything that I need. It's kind of like when Solomon, when he prayed for, when the Lord was like, I'm gonna give you one thing, what you want. And he didn't ask for money. He didn't ask for the demise of his
Wisdom.
enemies. He asked for wisdom. And when he got wisdom, he got everything that
Everything
he
he
could have.
wanted.
If he would have just asked for, I want you, I want that, I want that, he asked for God.
Wisdom.
The wisdom of God.
Yeah.
And the Spirit of God gave him everything that he would have needed if he would have
Yeah.
just took one time.
But the thing that with us nowadays, earthly creatures, is that even if she say one day she's like, God, you know what, send me a man, and he sends it that way her way, she's gonna still put up that wall.
I don't even think she has to ask. I think that a man that has done the same amount of things that she has done
You're missing it though.
is gonna.
Like a woman that's been through what she's been through.
Yeah.
Her wall is like.
What I'm
You
trying to
talking
say
about the
is,
wall that Trump's trying to build?
what I'm
Her
trying to
wall
say
is
is,
bigger.
what I'm trying to say is, honestly, the way that she went through her life,
Right.
God has already picked out a man that has
I
already
understand that.
done the same exact things that she has done and doesn't even think highly of himself for doing it. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't think highly of herself for doing that.
Receive it.
Yeah, and it's gonna just mesh together perfect.
Yes. I
Just
receive
like that. It's already out there in the atmosphere because it's you could already see the laws of attraction. Whatever she put out there is already coming to her. Look
Right.
at Hillsong.
Receive it.
Look at Hillsong.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
I know Hillsong reaching out to her.
That's a big thing.
I mean, when they reach out to you, just tell them, yo, come holler at just a conversation.
that's what I'm saying. There's other
Yeah.
things gonna reach out too.
Yeah.
There's other things out there in the atmosphere that's just gonna magnetize and
Yeah.
just be attracted because of what you put out there and how you carry yourself about doing it.
Amen.
So,
That's
question: how do you still love after all of that?
I was about to ask that question, but I was waiting till the end.
Nah, we got some other stuff, but it's like,
You know what? I've never been a bitter person.
Really?
Not like to say I wouldn't love again. Like I've been hurt, but I'm a loving person. I'm very affectionate. You know, my sister will tell you like I'm a giver. So to me, it's naturally. That's how God made me.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, before she passed away, may her soul rest in peace.
Wow.
She always used to say, you know, not because you're my daughter, but God really made you special. Like she told me, she's like, she just see me as just this loving, caring person naturally. Sometimes I think it's a flaw.
Why?
Because
It's not.
honestly, because I love people
Too
that
much.
don't,
And
too
they
much,
abuse
they
you and take
abuse me
advantage
and
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's not-
I still
it's never a flaw.
no matter what, I still love.
Mhm.
I still love him. I believe that, and I believe in the word of God. Like if
Yeah.
if we love God and we never seen Him,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
why not love your brothers and sisters? I still love my ex-husband, whatever he did.
No, you know what? That's
You
a
know?
quality that a lot of us really need to learn because
Yeah.
what happens is when people just test the nerves, we really show our true colors, what was
Yeah.
already inside of
Yeah.
us. But it's a showing that if you love them regardless of what they do, that's really love.
And to stick
That's
a
real
pin
love.
on that too, that's what causes a lot of sickness.
And yeah,
You know, so I was sick and I had to release a lot of things from out of
it's so
me.
true.
Wow.
It's so true.
So all that's true, sister?
It's true.
Really?
Definitely.
She's a loving person? Very. It's a flaw. Why is it? So
It's
you
not
don't
a
have
flaw.
that in you?
No.
I mean, sometimes I gotta tell her, you can say no.
I feel like you should really get by
Wow. You know, I heard that this week. I was listening to TD Jake's sermon. You know, because you know me, I always start my day, and he was like, "Listen, sometimes you just gotta tell people, No.
I can't say no.
I can't do it. I ain't gonna do it." And that's that. This is just like.
But look what I'm saying. Like, if you ever really would study the book of Matthew, your name, like, in I think about chapter 6 or around 5 and 6, and Jesus is like, you know, if somebody tries to sue you for your coat, turn around and give
Give
them
him
your
your
cloak
coat,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, if someone forces you to go a mile with them, go two.
Go 2 miles.
Once you go the extra step with somebody,
Yeah.
then you already you showed them that, like David did. I'm not trying to kill you, Saul. I have nothing against you. Look, I got evidence,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna leave you to yourself, to your own demise.
Yeah.
Because if
Exactly.
they keep coming at you, they ain't got to deal with you. They got to deal with somebody higher than you.
And the
So-
fact that she's the way she is,
Yeah,
it just goes to show you, like, listen, you ain't fighting against her.
that's what I'm
You know,
saying.
there's nothing that you're dealing that's with her. You're dealing with Christ Himself.
I let people use anything out of me. I let them despitefully use me, and I just pray for them.
Yeah.
And you know when I come back and get the return,
Yeah.
I be
The
looking
blessing,
like
yeah.
I be looking like
Yeah.
thank you Jesus.
That's how I
Because
see it.
yeah.
God bless y'all. High five.
My father was like
High
that.
five.
My
Do y'all
father was
thing.
just like you were. He would help anybody out. He would always smile. I never really seen him get
Yeah.
angry. And I'd be like, man, Pops, you letting people run over you, taking it back. And I used to get mad and want to defend him.
Right.
And he'd be like, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But it never hurt him because he always had it. And I'm like, how you always have it, Pops,
So
to
the
give?
blessing.
The thing that I
Yeah.
think
He did so many
that
blessings.
made me like really like look at Don different. Like, you know, he was talking about like, listen, like, I remember when my pops first got sick. You know, he was like, man, I was crazy. I was going like, you know, all over the place. Like, man, I don't know how to handle myself. And then his pops died, like what, a year ago,
Yeah,
and he took it like
last April.
he just took it like
Sorry to hear
to like us.
I was talking about that
Like to
today.
us, you know, to us, like on the outside, we're looking at him like he just thinking like, you know. I remember when his father was sick, and he said, "Listen," he came here and he brought his father here, and he said, "Listen, if God can't heal his father, you know, he actually took it in his mind like if God ain't gonna heal him, he brought his father here,
Yeah.
you know, for the father to get his healing,
Lord
and then
suffered.
after that, he
It
brought
was-
his father
yeah.
to the hospital.
Yeah.
You know, he's like,
And
listen,
that was it.
And he gave his testimony. He's like, listen, if God can't heal my father here, then I just put it into his hands. I put everything in his hands, and bro, that showed so much
Yeah.
strength.
Yeah, my father was deathbed sick when I brought him on that first Sunday, and I was like,
Wash his feet and all.
I said before he go to the hospital, yeah, I'm gonna bring him to church.
Wow.
Before I bring him to, he was deathbed sick.
And that just reminded me of Peter. I remember when Peter, you know, when you think about Peter and Christ, you know, Peter was always with Christ. You know, he's always beside Christ, everything in Christ, till he ended up cutting off the man's ears or whatever. And I remember when Peter was in jail and he was chained to a soldier, you know, Peter was asleep. Just like, man, I ain't worrying about it. God's got it. You know, and Peter just fell asleep and he was just sleeping. The Bible says the angel came and smote him.
Yeah.
Like, bro, wake up.
Shook him.
We gotta go. You know, because he was just so. That's when you know you've grown in Christ. You know, when you could just go through the storms and you just say, you know what, just like Christ. Remember when Christ was in the boat, what he was doing? Sleeping.
Sleep.
You know, and when you go, when you know that you're in Christ and you're just structured in Christ, everything about you is in Christ.
Yeah.
You know, you just fall asleep in the storm.
Yeah.
Peter was just knocked out.
Yeah.
You know, till the angel came and smote him and like, yo, bro, get up. We gotta go. We gotta go now. Like make it quick. Let's go. You know, and the shackles came off from around him, and then he made it all the way out to the garden, to the gate.
Let him out.
And he's like, what's going on? And the angel's like, don't worry, man. What you worrying about? We got this. Boom. Gate open. You know, when you are like rooted and grounded in Christ, nothing
will shake you.
Will
Speaking
shake
of
you.
rooted and grounded, next question is still based off mental stuff. Well, I'm curious, like, you know, when your sister wasn't there, when nobody else was there, you alone with your thoughts. How did you process that?
I don't know. I
How
think
did
sister was
you?
always there.
Well, she was.
for the
She might have
first
been, but
time,
it's like
'cause
by herself.
I transitioned from the house that we lived in while going through a divorce, and then I went and moved on my own with my children. So she wasn't there when I was going through the worst parts, the sleepless nights, the itching and
Wow.
scratching of my skin and my skin bleeding and all of that stuff.
Wow.
So that was the worst part. Now, the worst part, I said, God, you have to help me through this.
Hmm.
I felt like that's it.
That's it.
I'm dying. You know, I'm suffering. I'm going through my sister, my daughter see me crying. She's like, Mommy, what's wrong? And she don't really understand. That was the worst part for me. And honestly, it was tough. And that's where Hillsong came in. Because I would listen to them and listen to their worship. And it would help me to focus on God,
That's it.
worship. And,
Yeah.
you know, just have a sense of peace that everything was going to be fine. But I had a time where I feel like, God, I can't do this. You know, I broke down crying in my living room. I never slept in my bed. I used to sleep in the living room on the couch. And I would just have these terrible coughing and itching all over my body. And I would scratch my skin until it bleed. All the sheets are full of blood. I'm just being transparent. Like, it hasn't been easy. But as I was healing and God was restoring me, and my sister came around me and stuff. And I believe that God really allowed my sister to come at that particular time.
Yeah.
It was just,
And it made your relationship closer.
yeah, like, we were always close, but, you know, he know I needed someone there in the
Yeah.
house with me, you know.
So, question: was that like a self-worth thing where you felt like you couldn't go to sleep in your room? You had to sleep in the living room.
No, well, what happened is that I didn't feel comfortable yet, because
I believe that because when you're used to sleeping
Yeah.
beside somebody and then they're gone,
yeah, it's
you kind of
like
like,
I was just
big
like in
bed.
this apartment with
and
my
Matthew, you wouldn't know
children.
that.
If a little noise, I'm like, what's that? You know.
Yeah.
So I wasn't comfortable. So I just felt like I just need to.
It's like you're
That is
talking and
true.
it's just like, I don't know, man. I just felt all that. It was just like,
Yeah,
wow. I just felt like, oh.
I was
like,
by
oh my
myself
God,
with the
like,
girls, and then they would go with their dad, and then I just used to be by myself.
and then I know that hurt you more.
Man,
I'm like, I don't even know what to do with myself when they gone.
every sound in the house is
Yeah.
like it sounds so
You
good.
can actually hear your heartbeat.
Yeah, when you've been living with someone
Yeah.
and you've been so used to it,
Yeah.
and then you have the house to yourself and there's no one there, man, it's like you living in a 100-bedroom mansion.
Yeah.
It's
True.
like you
It's
feel
been
so like
tough.
lonely.
It's been challenging.
That's why I'm like, I don't understand like why like people like to be alone because like that echo, you know, when you walk through the house and you hear that tap 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 tap,
Yeah.
or you close something, you hear da da da, you know, you hear that echo. It's like, man.
I mean,
like,
sometimes you need it, but
sometimes you do need it,
Yeah.
but I don't think like you know
Yeah,
God
just
created
make the
Adam
heart
and
go
Eve.
bump.
I just believe that God already had equipped me for that particular
Definitely.
time.
You think you were equipped for that? You were ready
I
for
believe
that?
so.
Really?
Honestly, I believe because honestly I couldn't.
Huh?
Yeah, I
yeah,
believe
it's true.
he already had equipped me for that.
I was telling my wife today, she had gotten a message that one of her friends' father passed away. And she was like, what do you tell somebody when somebody passes away? And I was like, just say your condolences
That's it.
and say you're gonna pray for him. I say, and then I was thinking back what happened with my father, and I was like, man, everything that was coming up to that, the Lord was preparing me for it.
Yeah.
And that's why I was able to just shake it off and dust it off. All the prayers, all the fasts, all the sacrifices, everything just accumulated to that point where I was like, this is what happened. I got to deal with it. And if I wasn't like remember Evangelist Rita said it. If you're going through, do the things you need to do now.
Right.
Because when you need to do them, you're gonna basically have that time in that situation where you need to draw on something. And if you never stored that up, what you gonna draw on it with?
You know, like sometimes I hear people like, you know, like I watch like shows and stuff, and people like, you know what, I'm fine being by myself. Bye. You don't know what you're saying, bro.
Some people can though. I mean, hey,
People say stuff out of emotions. because
Apostle
we're
Paul mentioned it.
Apostle Paul says that, but Apostle Paul was a different creature.
Yeah, but that's what he said.
A lot
That's
of
what
us
he
are just
said.
emotional creatures, and you
Yeah.
say stuff out of emotions,
Yeah.
and then when the person actually like start packing their stuff and leave, bruh, that's a wake up call. And that's when you see people be like, "Oh, come on, don't stay, no, stay. I didn't mean it." No, yeah, you did.
But what I'm saying is, God has gifted certain people to just be alone.
He has.
Yeah, and Apostle Paul was one of them.
And now we're having this conversation. I'm kind of like getting nervous because he actually told me learn to be alone.
You
I'm
have
like,
to.
bruh.
You have to.
You have to.
Question.
No doubt.
It gets when you get alone, it gets to a place where you just get like, to me, it's like you get depressed.
Yeah, and he'll send you something.
I went through
So-
that season.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did.
I have.
I'm sure
And then
you
he
went through
said-
the depression
But
stage.
I didn't allow it to take over.
Overcome you,
No.
right?
Man.
I had to get up and pray and get that thing out of my house because I am not living like that. I have
That's it.
peace in my house and I want it to be that way.
That's
I'm
it.
with you.
So, question. You said earlier, you could correct me if I'm wrong, that you came up with a name like 3 years prior.
No, I came up with the name. I think we came up with the name like during.
So is we? The sister has something to do with it?
Yeah, me and her. We
Wow.
just a buddy right
Why
there.
does this stay on
But
the
why?
phone?
Why she
I
always?
mean, come on now.
I
That's
said,
it.
what you
Well-
think about this name? When was it, sis?
It was
After Pastor Preach?
your boutique or whatever. It started from Soul Tea.
Yeah, because I had something about Soul's Tea. Yeah.
Soul Tea,
In
okay.
the process of her chemo and stuff, that's when she came with Kingdom.
Kingdom Culture.
Oh,
So,
chemo killing them. Okay. I'm getting everything started lining up. So how you got the couture?
Couture.
Uh-huh.
she like fashion.
That's
Fancy.
fancy,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So-
Not just
Alright.
t-shirt because I want to have a boutique in the future with clothing and stuff. That's my dream.
Don't
So-
say you want to have a boutique in the future. Say you
I
have
will-
a boutique.
I
No,
will-
when you mentioned that,
A physical, a brick
You're gonna
and
have
mortar,
you
a
have it
store,
now.
a
Don't worry.
store.
It's there.
Amen.
when I asked you the question, you was like you wanted to make people feel pretty.
Yeah.
So when you said that, that clicked to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so it
Make
was
them feel
was
pretty.
that a big part of your recovery? Like,
Yeah, just because every chemo session, I would make sure I look pretty and go in there.
yeah.
But that's the
I
thing.
never
you have
looked
to-
like what I was
you
going
can't
through.
look at what you're going
No,
through.
I
That's a
did
good
not.
mentality.
And the nurses
Yeah.
would be like, "What do you use on your face? You look so pretty." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." I wrap my hair up, and I'm not gonna
Yeah.
look rough. You're not gonna
Yeah.
catch me in the streets looking crazy.
Yeah.
You know, people would be like, "You."
Sorry for those who see me on streets looking crazy.
I think you just choose to do that.
Facts.
Yeah, I don't. I try myself
Question.
not to do
Well, I don't really care about people's thoughts.
that. We know.
But you said
No,
earlier.
because I'm being transparent. When I was going through divorce and everything, my ex-husband, his wife, she called me names and called me a monkey and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
Call you what?
monkey.
What was he look? What were they looking at?
So you know,
That's the devil.
those
It was just the devil.
things, you
But there's
know,
nothing about her that looks nowhere complete. I mean, we all look like
That's-
monkeys. So what's the
That's
difference?
people are just
insecurities, my
crazy.
guy.
I mean,
Insecurities.
what are we just trying to just knock you off when you low?
Yes.
When you're on the
And
ground.
your head bald head. She called me
Yeah.
bald head and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah.
You know? So I was like, okay. You
The
say
look
all of
fits
that
you.
stuff.
It suits
I
you.
carry
It
myself-
does.
Yeah.
I carry myself
So-
well at all times. You know, you're not gonna see my bald head in the streets. I'm wrap it up. You know.
Yeah, but you don't kick nobody when down like that. I mean, I just,
That's
you got to
all
recognize what it
evil
is.
people. That's
Yeah,
all.
you got to recognize where it's coming from. And the thing is, it's not about what other people think. It's about what you think.
I always
Facts.
say that, bro.
It's about what you think.
It doesn't matter what people say about you.
I always say whenever
But it's all about you,
before I
feel
walk
about
out
you.
the door and I look at myself in the mirror, like I'm God's gift to everyone. It's like it's like
That's right.
my sis would know this. She's
Do you
like,
actually say it out loud?
what?
Do you actually say it out loud?
I make everybody know.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
It's like
Bro, what do you guys give
Talking
to?
about
huh?
What do you guys
Everybody.
give to? I'm lost.
Everybody.
Like, everybody like who? I'm lost.
Everybody that could see him.
Everybody can see me, man.
Your guys gets to everybody that can see you.
I'm a blessing. I always say,
That's
yo,
right.
I'm
Yeah,
a
you are.
blessing.
You
I'm gonna do like
Yeah,
what you do
I
now.
agree
I'm gonna
with
say
you.
like I don't agree with that.
I touch agree
You know
with
what?
that.
You
I
know
touch
what?
agree with it. I agree with it.
But guess what?
I agree with it.
I respect you for that.
I agree with
respect
it,
you for
yeah.
that. And I respect you for your opinion. But guess what? I'm a blessing.
You are
but
blessed.
but when you're going through something like that, it's very it's hard because you don't look the same anymore. Your body,
Absolutely not.
your
You don't
skin, my
feel the
skin was really
same.
dark.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't feel the same. You don't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel like myself at all. I said, God, I really couldn't wait to feel like myself again because that wasn't me. I was like skinny, darker. I look like I don't know.
You was in your cocoon.
So, so my question is, it's back to your business, but it's like you said that you always wanted to, but I felt like you mentioned something earlier that where you've had ideas to doing this, but
Yeah.
it didn't happen till after this
Didn't happen.
situation.
Yeah, I did.
So
It
what
didn't
what do you
happen.
think
Exactly.
was the thing that stopped you before when you did have the idea? When you was it like finances,
Not-
the mindset, or
Um, this well, not well. I didn't have the support. Yes, finances, just being distracted. Going through a lot of stuff at that time. So,
The thing in life
There's
is
a
that
whole bunch of stuff.
whenever you're happy, like your gifting don't come out. If you understand what I'm saying.
Man, you wrecking a lot of people's feelings right now.
I don't care whose feelings I'm
You
wrecking,
hurting a
but
lot
when
of
you're
people's feelings
happy,
right now.
whenever you're like content, you're in a relationship, you're in this, you're in that, and everything is perfect, everything is good,
It's time to fight.
your thing inside of you is not gonna come out because you're comfortable.
yeah.
You're all right. You're like, okay, I'm good. But that's why God has to send an interruption.
Yeah.
That's why the eagle have to stir the nest up so the baby could jump out.
Yeah.
And the father's sitting down at the bottom of the nest like, come on, boy. I know you got it. All right. All right, mama threw you out. I got you. Let me take you back up there because she's going to throw you out again. And that's what God does.
Yeah.
He stirs the nest. And when I think about, when you're an eagle, you are an eagle. You don't care about the weather
Yeah.
report.
Nope.
Exactly.
Eagles go in the storm.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ravens and the what do you call them, the doves and all them. That's like
The chickens.
well, the chickens don't get up there. They don't fly. First of all, they just down. So
Nah,
you
they
think about
get
the
up- get
ravens.
up there a little
The
bit,
ravens
little bit.
flying. They feel a little wind. The wind is hitting them. What they do? They go, okay, let me turn around and go that way.
Get out.
Yeah, let me get out of it. But the eagles, they see the storm and they go right into it.
Yeah.
And we have to understand who we are. We don't understand who we are when you're happy and everything is good.
So now I'm happy and content, and
She knows who she is.
I do what I do, and I let it work.
There's so much inside of us as believers. There's so much inside of us as humans
I'm passionate about it. Yeah.
that we don't understand. We don't tap into it. Do you believe like the people that what's the name of the guy that came up with electricity?
a guy?
No.
Ben
Albert
Franklin.
Einstein,
Oh.
Nah, it
Ben
wasn't
Franklin,
him.
right?
Ben Franklin,
Nah, it wasn't him. But yeah,
whoever it was.
Man, Ben Franklin.
Oh,
It was
Yeah,
a black
yeah,
dude.
yeah, he flew
It
the
was
car
a
with his
black
king and
dude.
came
Ben Franklin was
and
black.
he stole.
You ain't know that?
All right.
He was black,
Yeah,
brother.
black dude. He had like a couple drops.
So when you think about the person that came
He
up with
did,
like
right?
electricity,
You're
Ain't lying.
the person that created computer, or they created this, they created that. There's something. There's everything inside of us is creative. God create. Let me tell you something. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light.
Yeah.
He said, you know what? He had a thought. He said, listen, I had this thought in my mind. I'm gonna create the earth. And what he did, he created it, and then he put man on it. He put Adam on it. He put Eve on it. He made us to be creative. But a lot of us, we're so creative. There's so much inside of us, but we
Yeah.
don't tap into it because we're just so comfortable. And we're like, okay, everything is good. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go do this today. This is what I'm called to do. I'm gonna go to this job, fine, pay my bills. Everything is good. Everything is good. And God has to send that disruption, just like He
Yeah.
did with Job.
My
That was a
God.
test, bro, that Job went through.
Yeah,
And a lot of us couldn't go through that. You had everything. You had the mansions, the cattle, the everything. And you just lost everything just like that.
Yeah.
And it shows what's inside of you. When you think about David that went fighting and came home and everyone was gone. The wife was gone, the kids was gone, the house was just empty. He had to find what was inside of him. And like people look at David like he was like some yelly, just I don't know why y'all look at David like he was soft, but David could fight. Don't play with David, bro. People look at David like, he was just a worshiper, he was this, he was that, but David could fight. When the Lord told him to pursue, what he did? He pursued. and you got everything
Pursuing.
back.
That's one of
I
my
love-
designs. Slay like David.
Bam!
Yeah, I seen that slave parade.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was just about to see how this
Yeah.
was going, but you just like,
But
you just killed that whole.
but
whole
here's the
passion
thing,
I
though.
had. That whole everything that was leading up to that, you just like wrecked it, bro.
But sometimes God just put that wreck in their life. It's like, you know
Nah,
what?
nah,
I'm gonna stir it up a little
Stir
bit.
it up. Let me hear.
So it's like you said, pursue,
Yeah, right.
right? So it's like, and then you came up with cultivation. No, kingdom cultivation culture. Why is it I'm forgetting at the light
Culture.
when I'm trying to get my
Kingdom
point?
Culture
Culture.
couture.
Kingdom culture. Couture.
Kingdom culture.
Couture.
Yeah.
It's not just a brand. It's a lifestyle.
That's what it is. I was about to say that.
Definitely.
All right. Push that business. I respect that. So it's like, my question is like, dealing with pursuit. So it's like, when God gave you that idea, like, I know for a fact with me, I have a lot of things that I want to try doing, but at the same time, I'm very creative, but at the same time, I'm very rational. So it's like,
Hold on. I wouldn't say you're rational. I'll say you're creative.
and it's like,
No, I say the thing with you give up too easy.
facts.
Yep, no. It's true.
Are we talking about
That's what
pursuing?
facts.
No, he
mean.
just gives up too easy.
Are we talking about pursuing?
Like he'll have
So-
like this perfect, just like what we're doing now. It was his vision,
Wow.
and just like a lot of stuff that he does, he's like he go all into it, and then he's just like, yeah.
No, you know what he
Facts.
does? You know, honestly, he leaves. He starts one thing, and then he moves on to the next thing. He moves on to the next thing.
Oh, he don't finish one.
Right.
But yeah, it's
You
like,
see what
both
I'm
y'all
saying?
right.
Another
It's like,
area-
yeah, I'm not wrong. But So
Right.
it's like, my thing is, what kept you like going and saying like, all right, I'm going to pursue this to the fullest instead of like, you know what?
Open up and receive something.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my blessing right here. It's like, come on.
Facts
Open up
to
and
it.
It's
receive.
like, give
Don't
me
let
my
it out.
blessing. It's
Don't let
like,
it
I want you to have
Hold
a
on to it.
heart-to-heart talk with him.
Let it fall on some good soil.
So, what I've been through.
He ain't been through nothing.
you don't know what I
Didn't do
went through.
anything.
You know my
But
life.
don't wait till
But, all right.
something happened to pursue.
Facts.
But for what I've been through, I believe that a lot of people needs to know what I overcome. So I had to come up with this idea to put it on T-shirts and to tell my story and to brand and kind of cultivate that whole idea of what I've been through in my brand and to tell my story through my brand and put these nice little words of encouragement on these T-shirts and let people wear it proudly. I'm an overcomer. That's one. Slay like David.
Slay
that's
like
another
David.
one. I have
The faith
the just shall live by faith.
Yeah.
You know, and what else? And Jesus,
Jesus
property.
property,
Yeah. You know, there's things like that. So, what I've been through gave me that extra push to tell because a lot of people want to hear about what you've been through.
So in other words, it's your testimony that
It's my
keeps.
testimony
Okay.
that helped push, and not only that too, but I have a pusher, a pastor that pushes me. So he'll keep me up and be like,
Oh, Lord.
don't give up. No matter what it is, don't give up.
And he just said
And-
that's my sister Talsia, Millionaire Jenkins.
So you
That's it.
have to have people that's gonna push you. You can have an idea just like you had the idea, Nate. You're here now doing it. You have to have people that's gonna
And don't
help
give up
you
on it.
to help catapult you into whatever it is that you're passionate about or whatever you. Because even now we have another business that we're getting started, and my sister, I started in 2015, and I put it down, and my sister was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna start and do it." I was like, "Oh no, that's my stuff. We gonna do it together."
That's good though.
So you know that.
What is it? The
people-
boxer? What?
Yeah, the island box.
The island box?
It's like Jamaican products, and you know how you have to wait till somebody is traveling to bring
To
it
bring
up?
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
we want to implement that, and we want to
Yeah, that's
do
what's
some
up.
other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So you need people that's gonna push you. But my story helped push me to.
So
start
no,
Kingdom
I respect when you said that you did it yourself. It's like
Yeah.
you didn't, because I was trying to. There's a few things I want to try doing, but
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, you know what? Let me get some people around me to do it, and
So
Yeah.
we can connect. Like I can help you, you know, because I've had people reach out to me, and I'm not selling my stuff.
Mhm.
Receive it.
You know,
I'm taking
hit
it.
me up.
Receive it.
We can talk, and I tell you what to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't get the number and don't call. Receive it.
Right, you
I
need to start stay out
definitely,
my
we-
lifestyle right now because you know I tend to do that. But all right.
That's what I'm just saying.
We know you do that.
Bro,
We'll
it's
be
like
brothers
she-
and sisters, and if you need help and you see that I'm doing something, I'm gonna help you. You know.
And that's
Yeah.
something that like, you know, I try to like pretty much re-envision here. You know, when you see someone doing something, you know, just like Minister Eva in her book, you know, just like you, the story you've been through, you know, you want people to hear that.
Yeah.
You know, understand, like, listen, there's somebody out there that went through it and they overcame it. So guess what? Don't give up.
Exactly.
Don't give up. Don't quit. You know, you could go through it too, and then there's so much that could come out of it. You know, when I hear your story, I didn't even know you went through a divorce.
Oh yeah.
You know, and when I was reading your stories and reading everything that, you know, you've been through, you know, you just talked about, you know, being a cancer survivor, you know, your kids, you know, was your pusher, you know, and stuff like that. But I never saw, you know, anything about a divorce or your husband and nothing like that. You know, but that's something that, man, put it out there. Let people know.
I'm not ashamed of it.
You know, let people know that you went through that.
I'm very transparent with my story. I like people to know what I've been through. Cause
And that's the thing, like a lot of people go through stuff and they hide it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't talk about it.
Mm.
Me,
Some
I ain't
things
gonna
you
tell half
just don't
y'all
even
half the
talk
stuff
about.
I went through. They're gonna be like, man, that boy the devil.
Some things you just need to keep to yourself. It's like,
Yeah, a lot of my
Some
stories I'm gonna
things.
keep to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but everybody needs to hear. I mean, not everybody, but what I'm saying
When
is,
it's time for it to come out, it will come out.
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a certain person that
Yeah.
needs to hear that
Somebody's
story.
gonna need to hear it.
You gonna
Yeah,
say
'cause,
that person's story.
you know, you don't know who you can help.
That's
you
true.
don't know
Yeah.
who's somebody's looking to be like, well, I'm going through this. I feel like I'm going through it by myself. No, you did not go through it. You're not going through it by yourself.
Yeah, been there
You
with
know,
you.
I've been through it.
Yeah.
That's
you
true.
Can, you know, you can overcome it too.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember the time I was ministering, and I was like, I was watching the video, like, I want to say a couple weeks ago, and I didn't even know I mentioned it, like, yeah, man, I was like, talking about I used to make AK-47s, I was like, I mean AR-15s, and I was like, damn, I said that?
Yeah. You
Come
said
on,
that.
man.
I was like, make
Why
me
you letting
one.
that out of the bag?
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, it's you know, some people, like, let me tell you something, man, you're going to sit beside some people that,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to say that, but you're going to sit beside some people in church that's been through some stuff, you know, and it's not for you to bar them, you know, disregard them,
Yeah.
you know, push them to the side and say, oh, you're this, you're that. You know, it's for you to encourage them. You know, everybody needs this house. You know, the whores, the homosexual, the drug dealers, everybody needs this house to get better.
Yeah.
You know, until we recognize and understand that you can't just throw people out, you have to welcome them in. You know, the Bible said Jesus ate and supped with sinners.
Definitely.
You know, and we have to understand everybody needs to come through this house to get better. You know, to rechange their mind. That word could change them. You know, and when we realize and understand that, like, listen, bro, like, my story and your story is two different stories, but guess what? We're going to impact people. We can impact nations. You know, just like Sister Talsia, Hillsong reached out to her. You know, that's crazy right there. Just to hear the word Hillsong.
And who's
You know, it's like,
Hillsong?
wow, like you can't even hit Hillsong up to book them.
You said before.
All right, I'll be one of those folks.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't.
Who's Hillsong?
Never mind.
It's like I'm gonna be honest. It's like not everyone
No,
who listens
when,
like no, but
Yeah,
Well,
when you hear like, you know, when I look up Hillsong, you know, you can't even like reach out to Hillsong and book them to come do a concert. They do their own concerts, so that's how big they are.
oh, they're artists.
Yeah, you ain't. All right.
Come on, I thought they were like a production company. It's like,
You know the
come
songs
on.
we sing on Sundays? What a beautiful name it is.
They have
That's
their own
Hillsong.
church
Oh.
organization.
Yeah, they have it Australia,
Yeah.
New York, London, like all over the place.
Bro, you just
So here's my
offended
question:
You're
Is where,
millions.
well, to those who were offended,
What's offended?
God bless you.
It's a conversation.
Exactly, it's just a
You just
conversation.
We don't
offended the
offend
whole
nobody.
Hillsong.
But guess what?
The whole Hillsong
Hillsong,
movement.
community. Yeah,
God
movement.
bless you, and I hope you could reach out to us and explain how you feel about the situation.
What situation?
Oh God.
Me not knowing, but all right. Here's a question though. All right, quick question
Forgive him, Lord.
for those who are out there who suffer from self-esteem
Talk
issues.
to them.
Bless them with some limericks.
I think that would be like the final thought, but Go ahead.
Yeah.
I thought we were
If
close.
you're battling with self-esteem issues, um, you know, I believe that there's so many resources out there that you can gravitate to. For me, I didn't battle with self-esteem. I just battled with a little a lack of self-confidence while I was battling with cancer. So what I did was they have programs for people was battling with cancer, and I kind of took took on those resources. But if you're battling with low self-esteem, you know, I believe that you can get up and put on some makeup and fix your hair or go get your hair done and just, you know, encourage your own self. You know, tell yourself that you're beautiful. You know, God created you just the way you are. You don't need validation from anybody.
Facts.
You know, you really don't. Self esteem is something that can be fixed easily, you know. And once you feel good, once you look good, you feel good. And I
That's
get up
true.
when I was battling with cancer, I didn't feel like my normal self, but I would get up, put on my makeup,
Wow.
fix my hair, put on my little head thing, dress up nice, and go on about my business. You know, so be encouraged. Don't let anyone speak anything into your life, because once people sow that seed into you, you know, it will manifest, and you don't want words to bring you down and crush you. So that's my encouragement for people suffering.
Awesome encouragement.
Yeah.
Awesome encouragement. Minister One, final thought.
Like, I mean, we go back to talking about the war paint, and basically, pretty much, I just think that we need to start wearing our scars
Word.
like a
With pride.
badge of honor. You know, like we done been through something, and these are the badges, these are the stripes. You know, it's the same thing like with Jesus when by his stripes. You
We are
know,
healed.
yeah, that to him that it was worth it. You know, and sometimes just like your story of going through something that a lot of people would have fell under and not made it through, it's gonna encourage somebody that's going through it or somebody that's going to go through it to persevere just like you did and overcome. It's not just the pursuing, but it's the overtaking.
Yeah.
You need to you don't just pursue just to not overtake. You got to overtake, because if you run the race, you got to cross that finish line.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's just my final thoughts.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Matthew.
War paint.
Yes, sir.
I love what you said right there.
That's the topic.
War, yo,
That's your topic.
man. It's, all right, here's the thing. You breaking my my train
Go
of
ahead,
thought,
Flo,
but
Flo,
you know what?
my brother Flo.
War paint. It's don't be that person who said, you know what, a little spit could clean that up. I'm good. Actually try to fix it. It's like those wounds, don't let them fester, because yes, you might seem good right now, but later on in life it will come back, and it will, you might have to amputate. So it's like you might have to cut off, and you don't want to do that. So it's like work on what you can now, so you could bless somebody else in the future.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Good
See
comment.
that?
Good
See
comment.
that? See
Good
that?
comment.
Bless.
Good comment.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, it's like we gotta keep it short and sweet.
Oh, short, sweet, and spicy. That was just like that was like short, sweet, but okay, spicy. But yeah, wow. It's been awesome. It's been real tonight. Just to hear your story. And the fact that we came up with a topic that says war paint. Does what you've been through, in life pretty much strengthen you.
Yeah.
Pushes you to get better. Pushes you to overcome stuff. You're a prime example that, listen, you could throw anything you want to throw at me, devil, but guess what? I got this. I'm an overcomer.
Came for the wrong one.
And
Definitely.
when I think about everything that you just mentioned tonight, what you went through, and on top of that, what else you went through, you still overcame. And I'm sitting here seeing like you're just like, you're a beautiful specimen. There's like, I don't even know why somebody called you a monkey. Like, what were they looking at? Like, I mean, bald head, no hair, it doesn't matter. You're still a beautiful specimen.
Devil.
Because when you look at what you've been through, what you overcame, and there's no stopping you. And I encourage you, like, listen, don't let nothing stop you. Don't let nothing, let nothing digress you. Like you have your the encouragement of your sister.
Yeah.
You know, just the sister, keep pushing her. You know, keep pulling her up. You know, y'all keep pushing each other. You know, you guys are gonna be great.
Yes.
You know, you're destined to be great. You know, once you
Amen.
guys have that mentality together, you know, y'all keep pushing each other, then guess what? You guys will be great.
Amen.
And there's nothing that can stop you.
Amen.
You know, and I encourage you guys to just keep going. You know,
Thank
I
you.
see like
Thank you.
everything that's being great, everything being awesome. You know, even the brands that you're pushing, you know, get more creative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and just like I said, man, flood. Don't care about who's watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about nobody, man. You should be past that anyway. Flood
Yeah.
every social media you have. Encourage someone. You know, let somebody know that, listen, there is a sister Talsia that went through this, that been through this, and I'm encouraging that you can make it also. I went through it, I made it through, you can make it through.
Yeah.
You know, and it's other stories out there, you know, that we're going to hear about that we haven't even encountered yet, but just
Yeah.
hearing yours, and it just kind of like
Man.
it just tickles me, you know, it just have me like right now in goosebumps. You know, that somebody just went through that, you know, of your specimen, and you
Yeah.
just overcome it, and you just look so beautiful.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank
because
you.
the ray, it's in a lighthouse. You are a lighthouse, and you're shining.
Yeah.
You know, continue to shine.
Thank
You know, and I
you.
want to give a big shout out to Kenyatta McLeish,
I was just
Yes.
gonna say
my
that.
brother,
Prayer of faith.
Prayer
Nah,
of
you
Faith
said it wrong,
International.
man. You said it
That's
wrong.
my pastor.
He's putting together a
Pastor
team.
Okay,
Kenyatta.
it's actually
Please.
Prophet.
You know what? It's
Kenyatta
like, you know
McLeish.
what? I'm trying to put it out there, but it's
Yeah,
like, I
but
think
Prophet Kenyatta McLeish, you know, God bless you. You know,
these
keep doing what you're
titles,
doing.
man,
Keep
they-
raising up,
I
you
thought
know,
I had it right.
these awesome warriors that you're raising up. You know,
Definitely,
continue
definitely.
to keep pushing them. You know, I do appreciate you know extending you know your platform to us to bring us to to this
Yes.
platform. You know, so people other folks out there can hear the story, understand what they've been through.
Amen.
You know, and all that I say, don't forget to up over to Just a Conversation on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. You know, this will be on there tomorrow. You know, for your listening purposes, so you can hear it again. You know, I will be listening to this tomorrow morning. I always do. You know, I always listen to our programs the next day. You know, and I also actually sit there for 2-3 hours to edit it. So, wow.
I gotta respect this dude. It's like crazy.
And then, not only that, I'm flying out tomorrow. So, yeah, I got a full day tomorrow. But you know, it's been awesome. It's been real. It's been just a
Thank you for having
conversation.
me. Appreciate it.
That was a
No,
pleasure.
we appreciate you
It was
coming
good.
through. to
Thank
be
you for
honest
coming
with you,
out,
'cause let me
Tally.
tell you something, man.
It's
You
like,
just literally lit a fire. You know, like when you're in Jamaica, you have those furnace, the stove, and you always see that little flame in it. But until you turn it, you just actually turn my flame up to this
Man,
light a fire in me.
God
That's
be
like,
the
man,
glory.
that's like, I'm not comfortable sharing some of the stuff I went through, but man, the Lord is pushing me to get it out there, because somebody needs to hear it, and just to listen to what you've been through. You know, just wow, just awesome.
well, this is a wonderful. I love what you're saying. I just love, but guess what? It's just a conversation.
It is just a conversation, and I mean, we are just having.
Well,
a
we
conversation.
say hashtag.
Talk about,
Talk about
it.
it. It's like.
Peace.